Hey everybody, how's it going? Burgundy Pyre once again. So let's go ahead and keep going from where we stopped last video. A couple of things we need to do. Mainly, we need to be able to use this weapon. So I'll show you a couple of things we can do to get some quick souls, or runes rather. We're gonna upgrade it a couple of times as well, and we'll just see where the video takes us. Our goal is to go ahead and get Renala taken down. We might stop right before we're able to fight her, because there's quite a few things we need to take care of first. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And notice how I have my katana equipped. The bleed is going to be very relevant for what we do next. Let's go ahead and go back to the first step. And for those of you that already do know, we're going to be taking out the really big dragon in Caelid. So let's go ahead and get to Caelid really quick. We also need to get some somber smithing stones, and like I referenced in the last video, some upgrade materials for our flasks. So let's go ahead and get to Caelid first. We could fight a Gil, the dragon that'll pop down if you go over there next to all the people that are, I guess, yearning to be burned. But we're not going to do that right now. Let's just go ahead and get to Caelid using the transporter and these dragon burnt runes. And the rat's going to get a couple of cheap shots on us, but that's okay. Let me in the door. Okay, this is not okay. This is not supposed to happen. Okay. They're going to get a couple of cheap shots on us now while we're doing this. Let's see if I can block a couple. Actually, I can block them. Very nice. All right. So let's see how this goes. So I will be calling out the somber smithing stones, and when I'm picking them up, and like I said, this is just for upgrading the axe of Godrick, which will be our primary weapon, at least for the intermediary period. And we also need to get some souls, so we're going to try to take out two birds with one stone. Here we are in Celia Crystal Tunnel. It's a lot of enemies that do a lot of damage here, so we're not going to be fighting them as of yet. You see, they just hurt me quite a bit, very casually. It's quite disrespectful. But let's go ahead and get this side of grace, and I'm going to stop apologizing for calling it a bonfire, because I'll be apologizing pretty much every other time that I say it. So yeah, same thing with calling the runes souls. It's just habit, 4 games of calling them souls. I guess in Bloodborne they were blood echoes, and I don't recall what they were called in Sekiro because I never beat the game. But let's go ahead and go through here. And first stop, we're going to get, I believe it's a Somber Smithing Stone 5. So if we go from Celia Crystal Tunnel and just hold tight on the right, there's going to be a gap on the right side that we can go into. And there will be our Somber Smithing Stone 5. Did we pass it? No, here it is. And if you're a mage, there's some good equipment over there for you. Specifically the Meteorite Staff, which has the highest spell attack modifier of all the stuffs you can get at base level. It cannot be upgraded, but it's a great starter weapon to use or starter stave to use. There we go, Somber Smithing Stone 5. Yeah, starter stave to use for people that are trying to do magic. There's also Rock Sling over there, I believe, which, along with the Meteorite Staff, does some pretty good damage. It actually does really good stagger damage as well, but I don't think we're going to be using it. I guess we could, but I don't know. I don't like to have my builds too unfocused, and like I said, this one's going to be melee oriented. When the DLC comes out, we'll definitely do that approach with a magic based character, just so we can get some variety on the channel. There's some armory here as well. I believe it's the perfumer set, and it's right there if I'm not mistaken, but we don't really need it. If it's not there, it's somewhere in this little area over here. And this swamp actually does cause Scarlet Rot if you run on it, so do make sure that you are using Torrent so that doesn't happen, which is why I'm using him. He's also much faster, and he can double jump, and I can't double jump. I wish I could. It'll probably mess up PvP a little bit. The jump mechanic in PvP is already a little wonky. But yeah, so there we have this bonfire. It's Aeoni Swamp Shore. We're going to go ahead and get this map and this one. This is actually kind of the area we need to go in order to get to the big dragon and get those souls or runes. But it's very valuable to get the maps along your way, because going back and trying to get them after the fact isn't the most fun. And I might be running the wrong direction because I don't recall which marker is for the map. So let's just run over here first. get this, because I know this is pretty valuable. There's a church over there. I don't recall if you get a sacred tier, I believe it's called, but there is a larval tier that's available over here. If you kill this big giant behind these graves, he transforms from one of the nobles, one of the just, I don't even know how to describe them. I mean, destitute, of course, but zombified, undead, definitely malnourished. One of these guys. He's actually right here at the top. I'm not going to do that because I don't need the larval tier as of yet, and I like doing way more damage than my enemies can handle. I don't like just being kind of even with the PvE. So we're not going to do that as of yet. We picked up a couple of golden runes just for the sake of it. But what we really want to do is get back to this bonfire and check to see what number the markers are that we need to be focusing. So 3 and then 4. Let's go ahead and get rid of 1 because that's for a different path to Caelid, and we can get rid of 2 as well because we're going to go over there at a later point in time to get the flask upgrade materials and some more runes. But let's go ahead and get 3 first, get the map, and then we'll make our way up towards northern Caelid and get the other map as well as all the other materials that we need. There's also a actually I do believe that a night rider will spawn near here if you're in nighttime. Don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly certain I recall that. There's also a merchant right here. Let's see what they have. I don't remember them, so probably nothing super valuable for this playthrough. They have a stone sword key, which is pretty good, and the great helm, which is valuable because that's the helm we're going to be using. So we're going to get both of those. Let's go ahead and sell these runes that we have. And we'll get our bucket helmet, stone sword key. Cracked pot is pretty good, especially if you want to do sleep and stuff. We need 1500 runes. We have 154. We'll get that at a later time, if at all. We might not. We might just end up not getting it at all. But there we go. There's our bucket helm. And now we're going to be moving towards northern Caelid. I do believe the quickest way is just right across the swamp again, and that's what we're going to do. The jumping mechanics in Elden Ring really mess me up a lot of the time, just because I'm accustomed to taking a lot of damage, and it seems like in Elden Ring, either you take no damage or crazy amounts of damage, or you just die. Oh no. I don't think I want to deal with you. I'm just not going to deal with you right now because I don't have any ranged options. I don't feel like sneaking around in the swamp either. Alright, so we're right back here to this bonfire that we got previously. Bonfire set of grace, yada yada yada. But we're going to go ahead and skip past that with our newly equipped bucket helmet. Oh, there's another merchant here. We're not going to be able to buy anything because we're out of runes, but let's see what you have for us. And if you like, oh, poison bone darts, it's actually pretty valuable. You can use these to poison the bosses, and you know, just doing a little bit of extra damage throughout the fight is definitely nothing to scoff at. But I'm not going to get any because I can only afford 1, and 1 poison bone dart is not useful in the least. But one thing that you can do with the merchants when you see them, if you are so inclined, is to go ahead and kill all of them and give all of the bell bearings to the Twin Maiden, I believe it's called, the Twin Maiden in Round Table Hold. So that way every single item is, or item that's for sale is available for you in one centralized location. One, the merchants are kind of tough to kill when you're lower level and lower damage output and everything. But 2, I'm not really super inclined to do it because, I don't know, it's just never been something that I've done. Even with PvP, I don't really, I mean, like, I like to be as efficient as I can with respect to my damage and stuff like that. But even then, I don't like to, not that I don't like to, I just haven't put in the effort to get things like the perfumer's jars that can, or perfume bottles that can increase our damage output with like the uplifting perfume or the blood boil aromatic, just because it's a lot of effort. And it's kind of boring just reading through all those things, and I don't really do a whole lot of saves coming outside of the weapons because it's just a lot of time and effort just for one person. So I would have to continuously farm stuff in order to make use of a lot of those things, but to be quite honest, it's neither here nor there. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get this bonfire. We don't need to rest at it. And up this hill we're gonna see the Somber Smithing Stone 8. So right now I believe we just have the 5 and the 8 after we kill this little beetle. It's a dung beetle. It's emulated after, I guess. Maybe it is a giant ball of dung. But I'm gonna go ahead and kill this. Get that Somber Smithing Stone 8. There's a Somber Smithing Stone 9 that's available for us a bit below, and we're gonna get that as well. But we still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and the Somber Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. 1, 2, 3, and 4, we might just go the EG route and get all of those from him at one time. Or we might just pick them up along the way, because there are a few that we can pick up that might be a little bit more convenient and definitely cheaper. The 6 and 7 we can actually find in the Volcano Manor if we so elect to do. I'm not entirely certain if that's the route that I'm going to take, but we shall see as time progresses. And I almost died there, which is why I got kind of silent. I do not like dying. The game is beautiful, but I see enough of the game while I'm playing it. I do not need to see it in the loading screens after I die. There's a rune arc. Talked about those briefly last video. And just random assorted items alongside that. But let's go ahead and go to the top of this hill. I believe that's Fort Feroth there at the top. You get 1/2 of the Dectus Medallion, which is really valuable. As well as... I know it's Radagon Sword Seal. Yes, correct. Radagon Sword Seal, which will increase your Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity, each by 5 points, which is really, really cool. However, it does also give you a very, very large decrease in your defense. So I did use it for quite a bit of time on my first playthrough, but I also died a lot more easily to a lot of the bosses, and I was kind of confused as to why, because I didn't read the item description, and I also didn't look at the numbers to see just how effective it was. And in all honesty, those 20 levels that you're going to get, they're very rarely going to be worth the damage increase that you're going to receive. But honestly, it's to each their own. If you want to do it, if you're more like a glass cannon type of player, you like that play style, you do a lot more damage but you take a lot more, then it's up to you. I like to try to take a little bit more of a patient approach wherever I can, and also switching to aggression, which, you know, does betray some trades. And if you're trading with the Sword Seal, you are going to lose the trade every single time. That's with PvP or PvE. But we're going to go and go up this ladder. The Dectus Medallion will be at the top of it. I don't believe I'm going to use the Dectus Lift in order to get to the Altus Plateau. I'm probably just going to fight the Great Magma Worm, but I probably will get both of them. If not, right after this, hopefully I remember, I can show you where the other one is. And it's right in Limgrave, so it's not too difficult to get to. I really, 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 really need to get the lantern. I probably should have done that immediately after Godrick, because it's quite conveniently available there. But let's just go ahead and skip past this giant rat and pick up Radagon Sword Seal. I might be a hypocrite and equip it, but I kind of doubt it. And this is kind of like a mid to late game area, northern Caelid. So that's why the enemies are doing so much damage. I doubt I'll be able to escape. I usually just die, but see if we can avoid a loading screen here. Not get killed by the giant rat. We actually made it. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and try our best to get out of here. Get back to the bonfire and kill the giant dragon. It's really dark though, so it's hard for me to see because I do not have my lantern. But we have made it out. Jump down. Here's our bonfire. And I am definitely going to cut how long it's going to take out the big dragon. But just over here with a bleed weapon or with a bleed grease, preferably a bleed weapon so you don't have to keep on reapplying, you just go ahead and attack this dragon. And there's actually a technique that you can do wherein you, as soon as the dragon's death animation begins, you hop on Torrent and run back over to the bonfire and rest there before the death animation is over. You'll get fewer souls than you generally would because you're only killing the big dragon, none of the small ones despawn. But the big dragon will respawn as well, but you'll still have those souls. If they haven't patched it, I'll show it, but they might have patched it in the most recent one. I don't really read the patch notes in too much detail, but with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut until he's, or she, sorry, it's the dragon mother, is much lower on health, because this is gonna take quite a while. Alright everybody, about 2 minutes later you see that the health pool is quite a bit lower, doing very, very little damage, but the bleed definitely helps increase our potential and speed this up quite a bit for us. You do notice that I'm going to be stopping before I get to the end of my stamina bar and let it re-up, just in case the bleed does kill the dragon quicker than I expect, just so I can show off that, I think it's a glitch that I was talking about earlier. Alright, hopefully it dies pretty soon. And I do apologize for just maiming your tail like this. Okay, not quite dead. This will be fun. Just gonna do one attack at a time. Alright, there we go. Death animation. Sprint, sprint, sprint with Torrent. See if we can get back to the bonfire. Rest at it. And you see that? We got a whole bunch of souls, or runes, and the dragon's still there. So that's around 50,000 souls probably every 3 or 4 minutes. There are more efficient farms available in the game, but this is a really good one for early on. So just keep that in mind if it's something that you're super interested in. But 50,000 souls means a lot more at the beginning of the game than it does later on. We need 23 strength, I believe, and 22 dexterity to be able to two-hand our weapon. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And let's go get a couple other somber smithing stones. And hopefully we'll be able to get enough souls or runes to be able to upgrade our or level up our stats rather, so that we can use the weapon going forward, because I don't feel like doing that again. But like I said, you can definitely do it a couple of times, get yourself to around level 60 or 70, and just completely stomp the beginning half of the game. And obviously your leveling up is going to slow down, but if you don't want to just keep on fighting random enemies and just kind of turn your brain off, listen to something in the background, and just hack at that thing, just pay attention at the end, and that's definitely a good option. But let's go ahead and get the map, and we are going to get the Somber Smithing Stone 4, which is fairly near the Radon boss fight, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna go ahead and run over there, and we definitely need to take care of Renala. And before we take care of Renala, we're gonna get a Somber Smithing Stone 1, 2, and 3. And along with the 4 and 5 that we're gonna have, we're gonna fight Renala with a +5 Axe of Godrick, and that'll be a pretty entertaining fight, at least on our side. I'm doubtful that she will enjoy it very much at all. Let's go ahead and go back to Caelid Highway South and sprint over to get that Somber Smithing Stone 4. Along with that, we're also going to get the what's it called? It's this game's version of Power Within. Flame Grant Me Strength, which does not increase your health over time, which is pretty cool. We could fight Decaying Ezekias. I've always pronounced it Ezeki, but there's an S there, so maybe that's improper. Maybe Ezekias. Interesting name. Good for you, but we're not going to go fight it now, because like I've been saying, I don't like the fights to take a long time. Alright, let's see. Okay, so this is definitely not where I thought it was to get the Somber Stone, as well as the Flame Grant Me Strength, but that's perfectly fine. We will go ahead and get this bonfire, so we don't need to worry about it in the future, as long as we don't get murdered by these dogs. Dogs and crows. Apologies, I don't mean to be rude and dismissive of the crow population. But let's go ahead and get this bonfire, and we'll take a look at the map to see where exactly it was that I was trying to go. Nothing too close, yeah. We're good. We're safe. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down here, take a look at the map. Okay, it's not that fort. Maybe, well, there's not that much area remaining, so maybe somewhere around here. And forgive me if we do a whole bunch of running around, but we're going to drop a couple of videos in a row so we don't need to worry about it if you are enjoying the playthrough, and I very sincerely hope that you are. And like I've been saying, any constructive criticism or feedback that you got, please, please, please let me know. I want the channel to improve as much as possible and grow as much as possible, and that's not going to happen if I just remain where I'm at currently. But we will go ahead and get to where we need to go. And I may just cut until I find it. But the only thing about cutting is that I've noticed a tendency of mine to forget to show things that I said that I was going to show when I do cut, so maybe we will not do that. Okay, thank you, Crow. I appreciate that. That was quite kind of you. Let's see. Well, there's another bonfire right here. This is very close to where we were before, but I think we missed this one. Yeah, it has the sparkles, and you see these sparkles that are just like surrounding the bonfire. Obviously, you know, after having played the game, you'll recognize that pattern. If they're kind of showing you towards it, that means you haven't sat there yet. You don't even need to check your map. So it's not over there. It's not over there. We'll just continue down this path and see if it takes us where we want to go. I do know that this is going to be closer to Celia, the college town, or the academy town, Celia Gateway it's called. After we pass through this area around this dog, then there's another area that we can go to, which we might actually do just so we can get the materials that are hidden on the other side, but definitely not going to do it right now because I want to increase my damage before we keep on doing a whole lot of PvE. Just going to go ahead and go through the town of sorcery. It's not a college. Rylakari is the only academy allowed in Elden Ring. Everybody else, city, state, or town. No states. I don't even know why I said that. There is a golden seed up here that we're going to get. Go ahead and pick that up, which I don't think will allow us to upgrade our flasks again, but I may be mistaken on that. We shall see very shortly. And there's actually a little dot that'll show up on the option for upgrade your flasks if you do have the requisite materials to be able to do so, and that dot did not show up, so we are going to continue moving forward. Just gonna go around the outskirts of the swamp and see if maybe a direction we missed is where we need to go. There is a boss in this swamp and an invasion. I'm going to avoid them both if I'm able, just because it's nothing that we need, but you can get the commander standard. This is definitely where we started. Yeah, that's where we got the Somber Smithing Stone 5. And that actually might be the castle that we need to go to. Yes, it is. So we're going to go ahead and go over there. Looks like we just missed it last time. So there's definitely more fluid ways to do this. You can just kind of hit everything as you're going across. And actually, let me get this. And there's the perfumer set that I was referencing before, and I said that it was over there, and I was wrong. So now you see where it is. Let's go ahead and get to this bonfire again, and then we'll just rededicate ourselves to getting to the area that we need to go to get the Somber Smithing Stone 4 and Flame Grant Me Strength. Alright, just gonna run with that castle as our guiding light. Though obviously it's not illuminated. And see here, we missed a grace last time we were here. These graces are actually really close together. I don't really like that there are so many graces like really close together, but then you can go through long stretches without anything. But that is a really kind of hard balance to tick, especially considering not everybody's going to see every grace, so it does make sense for there to be some options available just in case you miss one or two. You're not just running throughout the entirety of Caelid or any one of the other numerous large sections of map without being able to get a single-sided grace. So it makes sense, but once you know where most of them are, it's just kind of like, why are there so many? It just gets kind of redundant. Let's go ahead and get what this guy has in the chair, because lots of people in chairs tend to have good things. I don't think it's a Somber Stone. Oh, there's a Somber Smithing Stone 4. That is actually not the one that I was referencing. The one that I was referencing was with another one of the beetles, but I'll show that beetle just in case you're interested, but I'm not going to kill it because it's a little bit of a waste of time at this point. But if we do ever need to come back, then it's going to be good for us to have that one available. And it's right up there. Not this branch, but that next branch over there. There will be a right there. That beetle will drop a somber smithing stone for. However, we do not need it, so we're not going to worry about it at this point in time. But it's right here, right across from this side of Grace. So yeah. And behind the castle is where we will locate our Flame Grant Me Strength, which does require 15 faith, which this build will have, I believe. Or maybe it'll stop at 12, I don't recall. But for the sake of the PvE portion of the playthrough, we'll be perfectly fine with getting that Flame Grant Me Strength to increase our damage by, I believe, 15 to 20%. I'm not quite sure. I could definitely just check the wiki, but it's a substantial enough buff for it to be worth it. It lasts for around 30 seconds, I believe, but in a boss fight, just being able to do a lot of damage to start off, or to start off like the phase 2 of boss fights that have one, it's definitely something that we want to take advantage of. So we're going to go ahead and go over here and get it. We are going to need to get a finger seal to be able to use this, as well as talk to Corin. Okay, taking a lot of unnecessary damage because I want to get this item. Let me get the item. The controls are so weird. I got the item and I almost died, but it's okay. These flasks are very useless at this point. They don't do very much at all. But we have gotten everything that we've set our sights on for the time being. So we're going to go ahead and leave Caelid now and go pick up the other somber smithing stones that we need and work towards Renala. We'll probably get the somber smithing stones that we need and then cut the video there. And then we'll start the next one along our journey to get Renala. So let's go and stop at this side of Grace. Somber smithing stone 1 we can get from going here, Agile Lake North. I might have picked it up previously, but we'll double check because it's on the way to the somber smithing stone too, so it's not too big of a issue. Where are we? Here we are. Great. And we could kill this Knight's Cavalry. Not too much reason to, other than maybe the runes. I don't think it drops anything uber valuable for us. But we might do it just for the fun of it. Just get a little bit of action in this video instead of just all running around. The only thing is we've leveled up quite a bit, but our damage hasn't really increased much. But let's see how this goes. Determination is actually pretty good. I would prefer Unsheath for the katana, but for a lot of weapons that don't really have fantastic damage multipliers on their natural Ash of War, Determination's not bad at all. It's like baby Royal Knight's Resolve, which I'll definitely be getting at some point because it's very valuable for a strength build. Just so one can do a whole lot of damage at one point in time. Alright, he's almost dead, so I guess the damage isn't too big of an issue. The horse will actually die first, unfortunately. Poor horsey. But it is what it is. And let's get the critical. Is it dead? Yep, it's dead. We'll kill this NPC. NPC, just basic enemy. Or maybe it'll kill me and I'll be embarrassed. Oop. Alright. Repeating thrust? Yeah, we're not too plussed about the repeating thrust. But while we are over here, here's the somber smithing stone 1 that I was referencing. But while we are over here, let's go ahead and get the Great Epee. Great EP. I don't know how it's pronounced. But that is definitely something that I plan on using on the strength build. And this is not quite the area yet. It's just a little bit further up ahead, if I recall correctly. This is where you get, I forget her name, Selen maybe? But if you go over there, and I'll show you on the map, right over here, Waypoint Ruins, if you are a magic character, then you definitely want to go ahead and go in there, beat the Pumpkinhead boss, and get Selen, and give her all the scrolls that you find, and just follow her quest line. 1, it's pretty interesting and cool. 2, it's the only way to get some materials to be pointed in the correct direction for certain things that you do need as a mage character. But yeah, right over here is the Great Epee, Great EP, and we're going to pick it up hopefully without too much issue. Let's try to go a little bit around so we don't need to worry about aggroing absolutely everything on the way. We'll jump off, go ahead and start sneaking. I love the fact that there's a sneak mechanic in a Souls game. And let's see how well this goes. It's right here in the chest, and right up there is actually a scroll that you can get if you are casting. I'm not too interested in it because, like I said, this is a melee character, but it is definitely available for you. I don't know if we should kill this guy. Let's just try to get this chest and see how that goes. Look at that. Very nice, very nice. I feel like a sneak. And there's a great epee. Golden Rune 1. Super valuable, that. And there's actually a jump that we can do right here. And this is where we need to go. So that was really convenient. There should be a bonfire somewhere around here. There might be one up on the other side. Hopefully we just don't die and we'll get to the next nearest one. But let's see how this goes. Obviously, if you're less experienced, do spend a lot more time exploring. I'm just touching on some of the like really quick stuff that I'm going to need for my character. But if you explore, you'll find a lot of goodies that you might want to use. But for now, we're just going to focus on what we need. And those are the somber smithing stones at the current time. So there's that bonfire there. We got a stone sword key. Here is Hayeta. I'm not going to talk to her because I don't know where exactly her quest line takes us. Well, I know the end goal of the quest line, but I've never really done it, so I don't want to start it just to not finish it. And I also believe that you can complete the quest line even after completing the game. So don't be too frustrated if you do miss it, or if you do get a little bit lost. You can always just check the wiki if that's something that you're into. And there's another Knight's Cavalry here, which funnily enough I did kill the first time I tried on my first playthrough. But I think it just... Actually, it might drop Barricade Shield. I don't know if it drops anything else. But we'll go ahead and kill it just to get some runes. Then we'll go back to that side of Grace and level up. Doing quite a bit less damage than we did on the last... Well, not really. Let's see if we can kill it. He's doing more damage to us than the previous one. Little premature on the Cerulean Tears there. Go ahead and dodge that. Hit that. Another unsheath. Out of stamina, so we can't get another one. Only hit the horse there, which is unfortunate. Chasing him down. Come here, please. You're running around. Well, you have a horse, so it makes sense. That was not enjoyable for you, I take it. Alright, and let's heal and have a little bit more of an arduous path, because I might have just gotten taken out. No, invincibility frames. Unsheath, please. Okay, I'm getting really messy on this fight. Let's just die, please, just die. Let's heal. Let's not be greedy, because greed is bad. Please, what are you doing? Where are you going? Alright. Thank you. Thank you for engaging again. Just die. Thank you. Very nice. Okay, let's go back to this side of Grace. Use the runes that we've just gotten, and we'll upgrade our strength once, and dexterity we need to upgrade one more time. Alright, Barricade Shield and Night Rider Flail. We got both. Alright, so the last somber smithing stone that we're going to be able to get in Limgrave of any consequence that I know of, there are probably plenty that I'm just forgetting or do not know of in the first place. The last one we're going to get is right over here. Ironically enough, I say right over here, but it's to the left, but it's okay. We'll just go ahead and pick that up, and then we will go on the path to Renala, because that is where the Somber Smithing Stone 3 is. And hopefully we'll have enough runes by that point to be able to upgrade our Axe of Godrick to +5 and take out Renala in the next video. Hello, Jellyfish. We're going to go ahead and run by you really quick. And I guess we'll get the bonfire over here in Castle Morn, just so we can have it for easy transport in case there's anything we need over there. Nothing that I can think of at the moment, but you never know. I guess we could get the greatsword and use the greatsword instead of Godrick's, but I've already said that I was going to use Godrick's. And I don't think I've ever used the Gareth greatsword either on a playthrough. Difficult questions we have now to answer. Let's just do the Axe of Godrick. We're not going to worry about the Castle Warren at this point in time. So let's go ahead and go back to Godrick the Grafted, and we're going to go ahead and continue towards Renala. We're also going to pick up our lantern so we're not taken out by dark areas anymore. There is Ghost Dog, very nicely just stomping on Godrick's face. Like I said before, I'm not going to talk to him. I don't know about his quest line. I know quite a few of them by heart, but his and Hayata's and Nafali, don't know theirs. But the ones that I do know, I'll definitely explore for y'all. And we will continue Alexander's questline from the first video after we kill Radon. Let's go ahead and jump down here. And were you to speak with Hayata, she would spawn again over here, but that's about as far as I've ever gotten on her questline. So just be on the lookout for that if you do speak to her. And there's actually a Shiburi grape, I believe, somewhere around here that you would need to do for that questline. But I don't want to give too much false information, so I will continue. And here's our first sacred tier. We could get 3 more. And we will go back and get those 3 at some point that are near Castle Morn. Just in that area, in the Weeping Peninsula, I believe it's called. Yeah, in the Weeping Peninsula, there's 3 that you can get. But for the time being, we don't really need them because we're going to make sure that our damage is so high that we don't need to worry about something as small as healing. But let's go ahead and go over here. We're definitely still going to need to get the fingerprint seal. That's what it's called, or 2-finger seal, I think it's called. Back at the round table hold, we're going to go ahead and get this side of grace, talk to the merchant in order to get the lantern, and go get the map. And then once we get to Renala's area, we'll go ahead and do what we have next. There are some smithing stones here available if you are interested. I might come back and get a couple so that I can upgrade the Uchikatana, but I am planning on using the Axe of Godrick, like I've said too many times in the video so far. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I don't like being killed. Alright, we just need to pull them away from the map and then we'll be fine. I'm just always too impatient and think that I could just luck my way into it, and it's only ever worked for me once. And here there is a cave that we're going to explore probably to start off our next video before we fight Renala. That lets you talk to an NPC that allows you to get a somber smithing stone, or an ancient, I think it's just an ancient dragon smithing stone. The reason we're going to be doing it is, yes, for that, but also the spear talisman is in that cave, which increases counter damage for all piercing weapons. And while it's not going to be super useful for the weapon we're going to be using to begin the playthrough, definitely going to be useful for some other weapons if we do decide to use them. But we're going to use this transporter right here in the Lascar Ruins, and it'll take us right to the academy. There we go. So you don't have to worry about traveling through a whole bunch of stuff. But like always, exploration does get you quite a few benefits. There are quite a few smithing stone 3s and 2s that you can pick up in the lake. There are also some golden seeds that you can pick up in the lake. Just quite a few things that you can get. So don't be too quick to turn your nose up at stuff. I'm going to jump down here, get off torrent to make sure we don't die, and then run back over here. And we're going to go ahead and get the key so that we can go into the academy. And then we're going to cut to... might cut the video. We'll have to see how long we've been playing so far. Not quite certain as of yet. But we will try to kill the dragon just to get some more runes. so that we can get that last level in dexterity that we need, as well as get the requisite runes to be able to upgrade to +5. But I'm probably not going to cut once I get the key. I'll get the key, kill the dragon, get the Somber Stone 3, upgrade the weapon, and then we'll cut before we explore the academy and take out Renala in the next episode. Hello, dragon. Nice to see you. Smaragd. I don't think I've ever paid attention to your name before, no. Well, okay. No, you made me waste my unsheath. So with the dragons, you want to focus on their wings, ouch, or their face. The wing is obviously a much easier target to hit on a consistent basis, but the face will deal more damage. But let's see how this goes, because we're not doing near as much damage as we have been on some of the previous bosses. It's probably closest to Godrick in terms of the damage that we're dealing. And we're not going to be able to get the riposte because it's too far. Let's heal up, get some more unsheath going, and see if we can get its face really quick. There we go. 261 is compared to, I believe, 174 we've been getting. Yeah. Let's go ahead and keep on attacking. We got a bleed there, which is nice. And here, it's really important to keep your horse on your hotbar for when they do attacks like that, so we can just run out of the way and not get just immediately destroyed. And look, it killed a teardrop scarab for us, which is really convenient because it gave us another blue flask, or cerulean tears. Looks like it's about to fly again. I think it's going to do the jumping thing. I'm going to roll that. Get it one more time on the neck. This is going to hurt because I don't think I'm going to be able to get out in time. Oh, just barely. Yeah, so that's why it's good to have the horse on the hotbar, so you don't need to worry about whether you're going to be able to get in time. And thank you for doing that attack. Just going to go ahead and attack. After it stops, let's get our blue. Probably going to dodge. Yep. Then go after the wing again and miss, because we like to miss. Because missing makes us better than other people, I guess. Some more unsheaths. Does really good stagger damage for a dexterity-based weapon. And here, we're going to be on the correct side this time. Get one unsheath. Go ahead and get the riposte right in its eye. It's very violent. I don't think we got a bleed there. Hopefully we can get a bleed soon. Alright, let's go ahead and try to get a bleed. No, we're not going to be able to get it. And they're going to do another breath attack after, because they've created quite a bit of space. So here we're just going to run to the left. Probably not going to be able to capitalize because we're so far away, except for just a little bit. But that's okay. At least we didn't take any damage. Staying alive is more important than doing damage, but doing damage does help you stay alive. And we're going to run away again on Torrent. Might not make it. We did. Very nice. And there's a Side of Grace right there that we're going to get after killing Smaragd. Let's get an unsheath in really quick. A bleed would have been really nice right about there. I think they're going to do the jumping attack one more time. You can also outrun that with Torrent. Get one more unsheath. And a couple more R1s. There we go. I did not even see the attack that ended up killing it, but we'll take it. Alright, and we'll get this Side of Grace. Got a couple more runes. And with those runes, we will be able to level up and hopefully upgrade our weapon, as long as we don't get ourselves killed in the interim. Alright, so let's level up our dexterity. Now we have the ability to use our weapon, as long as we're two-handed. Get rid of the shield, we don't really need it. We're still fat rolling. There we go. We have 45 poise. This is as good a time as any to mention, when it comes to PvE, there are two poise breakpoints that are going to be important, at least to the best of my knowledge. Those are 51 poise and 101 poise. So if you can't poise through it at 101 poise, it can be poised through. If you can't poise through it at 51 poise, then 101 is where you need to go. And that's pretty much all that matters. In PvP, it gets a lot more complicated because all the different weapon types and all the different attack values or attacks have different poise break values. So I went over that briefly in the last video, but yeah. Oh no, but I was trying to double jump and then I couldn't. Let's go ahead and get this golden seed. And there's a map around here. And this little marker will show us where. Get the map, just so we have that for convenience sake. We'll let those Albinarchs be. And our damage on this is 188 compared to our Uchigatana at 153. It's not quite that big of a difference, and this was going to attack much slower than our Uchigatana, but it'll be a little bit more fun to use this in comparison to something that I've used quite a bit. But the fights are going to be a lot more interesting, I will say that, because I have no experience with this. But let's go ahead, go in here. We will get our Somber Smithing Stone 3 and upgrade our weapon to +5, and then we'll call it a video. But we got the key, which is why we went over there to the Dragon's area to begin with, and now we can go ahead and go into the Academy. And after killing Renala, we might have an episode wherein first we take care of the Sacred Tears near Castle Morn, and then we can go to the Volcano Manor and try to clear out that area as best as possible and maybe get the +6 and 7, and then we can get all the way to +9 right now, and then we can do Vari's quest line and potentially get to the +10 Axe of Godrick on like episode 5 or 6 in the playthrough, which will probably be the best and biggest takeaway from the playthrough when it comes to just the early point to make the game as easy as possible. There's no buff with that, but that's okay. It'll be fun. That R2 is pretty fancy. I love the R2s that drag the weapon across. I love the sparks. I get nervous when I see them coming my way, and I like to think that the computer gets nervous when it's coming their way. But the Somber Smithing Stone 3 that we need is right through these very heavy and large doors. So we're going to go ahead and open those and see how things go. We'll probably stop at +9 for this Axe of Godrick because I'm not going to be able to use it on the final iteration of this character, and that seems to be a bit of a waste of a Somber Smithing Stone, or an Ancient Dragon Somber Smithing Stone. But we will get it to +9, probably within the next video or two. But let's go ahead and get this bonfire, and because I don't want to kill these enemies, I'll have to run to the next bonfire before I can transport to the Round Table Hold. I could just let them kill me, and if I do end up letting them kill me, I won't have let them kill me, they'll kill me of their own volition, but that doesn't sound like fun for the time being, so let's just run away. Jumping and running, be careful over here. A single misstep can lead to you getting grabbed by one of these enemies and then potentially surrounded by a bunch of them, so make sure you are paying attention if you are somebody that's going to elect to just run through. Don't worry too much about picking up items, I say as I go ahead and try to pick up this item. Because there's nothing like super necessary over here, but you know, if you are somebody who likes to explore, I would recommend killing the enemies as opposed to just trying to run past everything, unless you are content with just contending with all of the enemies surrounding you at once. And dogs are super annoying and they will stun lock you, so it's not super recommended. And here we are, we're gonna go ahead and go up this elevator. Well, I don't know if it's an elevator, but it's helping me elevate. So I guess it is an elevator. Ha ha ha. Jump over here. And then to the left, we will get that bonfire. There is a Red Wolf of Radagon. That will be the next boss that we would fight. Probably the first thing that we're going to kill in the next video. But let's go to the Round Table Hold and upgrade our Axe of Godrick to +5 and see what our AR is looking like. And remember, we start at 188 when two-handed. It's going to make us one hand after we start upgrading, so we're not going to be able to see the true increase in damage. But look at that, we're at 146. We lost 38 damage, very good. Or no, I guess 42 damage if it was 188. Very good, very good. But we're going to go ahead and call it a video. Let's go ahead and get that upgrade. But we're going to call it a video now. Next video, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, get those Sacred Tears. Go to the Volcano Manor, check see if we can clear it out. If we can, we'll be able to get all the way to +9. If not, it's not the end of the world. We'll just get to +6 and just continue and fight Renala. But you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.